Hey guys, welcome to Better Together. This week I wanted to set some solid, concrete goals for myself because I have not been using my time super wisely and allowing this special season to go to waste. And so while I know that it's difficult to be cooped up and it's difficult to not have our normal routines, I wanted to create some semblance of a routine for myself. And I wanted to do that in a couple of different ways. The first is setting definitive times with limitations on when I can check the news. I have been finding that I am constantly on my phone checking for news updates, checking numbers updates, checking the markets, all kinds of things. And I know that it's natural to want to know what's going on. And I think in order to allow myself to feel informed, I want to set definitive times to actually check the news, but I also want to set limitations on that. So I'm thinking for myself, I want to set a limitation of checking the news 3 times a day, maybe once in the morning, once in the afternoon, and once before I go to bed. Makes perfect sense. And maybe limit that to a specific amount of time so that I'm just reading a couple of headlines, maybe 1 or 2 articles, and then I'm putting it away and not allowing it to just control my thinking for the day. On the other side of things, I want to also be more productive with my time. And one of the major areas that I've been wanting to, grow in is reading more. I used to read a lot. It's so good. I mean, there's just a ton of reasons why reading is so good for you. And when you have a lot of time, it's a really good way to engage your brain and your imagination and learn something. And so there's 3 areas that I want to be reading more in. Number 1, I want to be reading my Bible more. That's something that I think is an essential habit to life, and it's something that I've not been super purposeful about more recently. And so that is number 1. I want to be reading at least 1 chapter of scripture a day. Now, I'm not always sure exactly what to read, so if you could let me know what you're reading and why you're appreciating it, maybe I'll consider reading through that book as a starting spot. The other area that I wanted to be reading is for improved knowledge, like reading some sort of book that expands my understanding of a given field or an area that I am less attuned at. So that's another area that I want to be. And then obviously number 3 is entertainment. I want to have some sort of book or novel that just kind of expands my mind a little bit and takes me to places that I've never really gone before. And one way for those of you who are a little bit overwhelmed with the amount of screen time that people are engaging in, because a lot of people read on tablets and they're on their phones and they're on their computers and they're watching movies. And it's all perfectly understandable, especially at this stage in our collective journeys. But one way that I think has been really cool is I've been trying to listen to books on tape. And you can do that by a subscription to Audible or other services. And there's also a lot of resources on YouTube as well that have entire books that are pre-recorded on tape. I guess they're technically not on tape, but you get the point. They're digital voice translations. That's even worse. I'm just going with books on tape. So the point here is that it's one of the ways that I can disengage from all the technology if you don't have the physical book, and if you get to a point where you're just tired of watching and reading and you want to almost close your eyes and lower the lights and sit either with the whole family or just by yourself and kind of relax and listen to a fantasy novel or a great adventure novel. And that's what I've been doing actually the past week or so, is getting together with the family and in the evening, getting a calm, tranquil environment and then just listening to an hour of great adventure stories. I'm actually working through Out of the Silent Planet by C.S. Lewis right now. And it's such a fun adventure story. It's really kind of sci-fi. Regardless, the point here is that it's another way to engage your mind. You kind of imagine things. I don't have to sell you on why reading and listening to good literature is great, because it just is. And I think as soon as you engage in that, you will find that to be true. So maybe there's an opportunity here for each and every one of us to share what we like and why we like those particular authors or books. And so we can share that and kind of use those as resources, as recommendations. And I would definitely encourage you that reading is a great way to engage the mind, learn, and feel a sense of adventure even if you're cooped up. And that's a great pattern also for way more than just the coronavirus epidemic or pandemic. Anyway, those are my goals this week. So I hope you enjoy. I hope you also purpose to spend some time reading, and this encouraged you to set aside that time and to do that during this season. Remember, it's about progress, not perfection. I'll see you next week.